Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your afternoon is going well. It's a hot one here in Atlanta. It's supposed to be 99 degrees. It's supposed to be 99 degrees today. So I will be inside. I might go for a walk later on today, but I got up this morning, worked out, hit the gym. So feeling good. Hopefully you guys are feeling good as well. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Please go to dynastymirror.com. Also, please visit Donfo, DANFO, Donfo.Africa. We have a couple of tours coming up. Nigeria, August 8th through the 17th. August 8th through the 17th. We would love to have you all. Again, August 8th through the 17th. Please come and join us. We'll love to have you guys attend. We're going to the Oshun Festival, the Oshun Oshogbo Festival. So if you're interested in joining, hit me up. Visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Again, Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Also, Sierra Leone, November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd. Once again, we will love to have you all in Sierra Leone as well. And citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Again, Dr. Papa Ogun Festival. I don't know. I know there's an Ogun Festival going on either this weekend or it was last weekend here in Atlanta. I need to go check that out. I think it's either this weekend or it was last weekend in Atlanta. There's an Ogun Festival. So Dr. Papa. Well, okay, I think you're trolling. But there is an Ogun Festival. I'm sorry, not Ogun Festival. It's either a Gugun Festival or there's a Ogun Festival. One of the two. I think it might be a Gugun. In fact, it's a Gugun Festival. Yeah, you're trolling though. Okay, I fell for the troll. But there is a Gugun Festival that is taking place, I think, in Atlanta, either this upcoming weekend, or it was last weekend. So if it was last weekend, I missed it. We're talking about Umar Johnson. Yeah, I don't know about his Ogun Festival, but there is a Gugun Festival here in Atlanta coming up. I just don't know the exact dates. But like, share, subscribe. What I was saying, citizenship in Sierra Leone is available to those who qualify. Hold on, here we go. So citizenship is available to those who qualify. So I'm taking another group this upcoming November to Sierra Leone to get their citizenship. I think is important, especially in the climate that we're in, to have international options, have options outside of America. And so people are claiming their citizenship, which is their birthright to Sierra Leone. So I'm taking a group. So go to donfo.africa to learn more and find out about the requirements, which number one, you have to have a DNA test from African ancestry, which links you back to Sierra Leone. If you got that, go to donfo.africa, hit me up, give me a call, and we'll get you right. We'll set you straight. Let's see here. Anything else? Any other announcements? Let me just change this real quick. Just a little better. Now, any other announcements? I think that's it for the announcements. But guys, please do me a favor. As you come to the chat room, please hit that like button. Again, as you come into the chat room, please hit that like button. And once again, we will love to have you guys join us on one of the tours. Also, go get your Africa is My Everything t-shirt at ilamirror.com. Again, at ilamirror.com. Go and get your Africa is My Everything t-shirt. Funny story. I don't know the lady's name. Forgot the lady's name. Shout out to Ruby in the chat room. Ruby, I need to make you a moderator. It's just I can't do it in StreamYard. I have to do it. I can't do it in StreamYard. I have to do it in what's this button right here? Yeah, I can't do it in StreamYard. I have to do it on the actual YouTube side. So I'll go to YouTube. I'll make you a mod. Um, so Africa is my everything T-shirt. Actually, it was inspired by I was in Whole Foods, in Whole Foods in where was I? Whole Foods in like the DMV area, like near I was in the Maryland side or the Virginia side. I think the Maryland side. I was in Maryland. Yeah, I was in Maryland at a Whole Foods, and I had on my Africa is the now shirt, or I had on my Africa is the future shirt. Forgot which shirt I actually had on, but a lady came up to me. Oh no, I had on my Africa is my therapy T-shirt. I had on my Africa is my therapy T-shirt, and so a lady came up to me and was like, "Nice shirt," and I said, "I appreciate it, thank you." And then she said, "You know what? Not only is Africa my therapy, but Africa is my everything as well." And I said, "You know what? I'm gonna run with that." I told her I'm going to run with that. And she said, "Go ahead, no problem." So you go get your Africa is my therapy shirt and also get your Africa is my everything shirt as well. And I'm gonna continue to tell the story over and over and over again, over and over and over again whenever I go live. So yeah, so go and grab your Africa is my everything shirt. So let's jump right into it. I've told this story before. We're gonna start off with JC and the Marcy projects. And let me say this. I have been very critical of Jay-Z in the past. Very critical. I have. Very critical. But I want to take the time out first to apologize to Jay-Z for being critical because I somewhat understand why Jay-Z sometimes makes the decisions he does and sometimes why he makes the moves that move the way he moves. So I want to first off apologize to Jay-Z, say I'm sorry for being critical, so critical of you. I'm gonna tell you why. Jay-Z was offering blockchain. I mean, let me back up for a second. So people say, what are the solutions? Which is a disingenuous question. I think it's disingenuous. The reason why you had Malcolm X, you had John Henry Clark, you had Claude Anderson, you have, yeah, he's never going to see this, but still, I just want to say it out there that I want to put it out there to Jay-Z. He might never watch this, which is fine. He might never watch this. That's okay. But at least I put it out there on the airwaves. Listen, on the World Wide Web, on the internet. I'm sorry. I apologize for being so critical of you. I apologize. Thank you. You can't please black folks. So that's the point I'm getting to. So let's start off with this. Whenever I'm critical, people are always like, Dynast, what is the solution? You ain't got the answers, Dynast. What are the solutions? Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, John Henry Clark, Amos Wilson, Claude Anderson, Ice Cube. Let's focus on Ice Cube for a second. Ice Cube came out and said, listen, before we go and vote for a candidate, let's see what we can get for our vote. Black folks rejected it. Black folks criticized them. You have black folks trying to cancel them just to get rid of the orange man. And guess what? Things are worse off. We're worse off now. We are worse off now with this clown. Biden is a clown. We are worse off now than we were with the orange man. We are. And if you disagree, you're more than welcome to come on here and prove how we aren't. But Ice Cube said, let's see what we can get for our vote. I got this program. I got these points for Black America. Let's see what we get. Black folks didn't want it. Black folks shut it down. Like Black folks just love to suffer. We love to suffer. We just want to suffer. That's what we want. It's the victim mentality, the victimhood, the suffering. Like it's trauma porn. We enjoy the trauma porn. That's that's what we like. That's what we enjoy. So the solutions. What are the solutions? It's a disingenuous question because y'all ain't gonna listen to the ish anyway. So Jay-Z did something that I agree with and I applaud him for. And to show that I'm not disingenuous, when somebody does something right, I'm gonna give them the roses. I'm gonna say, you know what you're doing is a great idea. Even though I might disagree with some of the other stuff, if you do something right, that's a value. That's a good job. I agree with that. Let's roll. Let's do that. Black people celebrate suffering. Jay-Z partnered with Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter. Hey, we're gonna offer blockchain and Bitcoin courses for the Marcy projects where I grew up. Great resource. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people say when they come on here and talk about Bitcoin is a scam. That's a scam. This is a scam. Blockchain's not going nowhere. I'm sorry. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you think. Blockchain technology is not going anywhere. And it's growing, and you have mass adoption. Bitcoin, all right? Yes, you have a ton of other BS coins. But Bitcoin and some of these other coins, but specifically Bitcoin, isn't going anywhere. I don't care how down it is right now. I don't care that it crashed. It's not going nowhere. It's going to continue to go up. It is digital real estate. It's a storage of value. It's digital real estate. It's an asset. The United States of America has already recognized that. They're already coming with the regulations, which is a good thing. A regulatory framework is being mass adopted. You could buy Bitcoin right now on your phone on Cash App. It's what it is. So we could scratch, we could fight, we could argue, say this, that, other. It's not going nowhere. I'm sorry, it's not going anywhere. Blockchain technology isn't going anywhere. Jay-Z was offering to teach people a trade. Again, Jay-Z was offering to teach people a trade. They didn't want it. They refused it. And again, I used to be critical of people not going back to the hood and building up the hood and buying back the block. Like, how's the buying back the block movement working? How's it working? I was critical on people, not reinvesting back into the hood and going to save the hood. But I get it now. Listen, white people do not go back and reinvest into the trailer parks. Are they hoods? All right, all these other communities, they don't go back to the hood. They ain't talking about reinvesting back in the hood. Because again, it's just the mentality of the people there. You got to get your stuff. You got to get your money. You got to go. It ain't personal. If people are serious, they will come and find you, and you guys can build that way. But for the most part, going back to the hood, all this other stuff, waste of time. I'm convinced now. And a lot of people might say, "Well, you an elitist. You don't understand what we go through, and all this other stuff." Listen, I get it. Look at what happened to Nipsey Hussle. Look at what happened to Nipsey Hussle. Brother went back to the hood, was giving people jobs, got murdered in front of his own store. Got murdered by the people he was trying to save. So again, well, like I said, they don't go back. white folks don't go back to the trailer parks trying to save the trailer parks. That's a show. In fact, that might be me and Kyla's topic tonight. That might be me and Kyla's. Let me block this guy. Well, just in general, the hood. It don't have to be the project, just the hood in general. Yeah, don't save the hood. It don't want to be saved. I'm just saying. So again, excellent resource. You know, it's a trade that everything is moving to the blockchain. Blockchain is the future. They rejected it. They refused it. I'm gonna tell this story. I tell this story all the time. See, the problem is, let me step back. And listen, I struggle with this, and I'm gonna tell a story. I've had the same mindset. It's instant gratification, and I'm just as guilty. Let me say this: I am just as guilty. Again, I'm just as guilty. Instant gratification. That's our problem. I'm just as guilty. We don't plan. We don't see. We don't have the vision for 40, 50 years down the line. I'm gonna give you an example. My dad, this is back like in 1995, 1994, 1995. My dad was one of the only people in our community that had internet, had a desktop, home computer, right? So I remember every weekend after my football games, track meets or whatever, I will look forward to going to my father's house to get on this thing called the internet. Again, I will look forward to get on this thing called the internet. And on the internet, I discovered some stuff too. You know, we'll just say naked women. I discovered naked women on the internet. So one day, my sister, rest in peace, my half sister, saw that I was looking at this stuff, you know, looking at boobies and stuff on the internet. She went and told my dad. Dial up. It was dial up. All the noises and all that made all the noise. And I was looking at that, SETI. That's what I was looking at, SETI. That's what I was looking at. Okay. I was looking at. You know, made all the loud noises and dial up. Yeah, it was crazy. So one day, like my dad didn't say anything immediately. I mean, I'm just listen. It's what it is. I was looking at stuff that I shouldn't be looking at, but I was looking at it. You know, I discovered it on the internet. I'm like, dang, you can do all this on the internet. It's like you can do all this on the internet. See all the naked women you want for free. Oh man, I'm in. I'm sold. Yeah, dial up was nosy as hell. So one day, like my dad didn't say, no, my dad didn't say nothing. Listen, my dad didn't say nothing. One day we're in the car, and this is like 1995. This is before Google. This is before social media. This is before Facebook. This is before all that stuff. We were in the car one day, and my dad, he looked over to me. He said, this is when I was Albert. He said, Albert, instead of looking at all that porn, how about you learn the internet and learn computers? And I just looked back at him, and this is back when I was playing football, running track. You know, I'm like, man, I don't need that internet. I don't need to learn that stuff, man. I just have to learn the internet, learn computers, man. For what? I mean, I'm gonna go to NFL, do all that. What do I need to learn computers for? He said, "Once you learn programming, I'm program what? What do I need to learn programming for? Man, I don't need to learn that stuff. Whatever." You know, As we say, learn programming, learn computers. Stop looking at all that stuff. LimeWire, all that stuff. He's like, stop looking at all that junk. Learn computers, learn programming, learn this. I'm saying, man, whatever. I ain't doing that. Whatever. Fast forward 30 years later, 20 something years later, I'm like, this is see how the internet evolved. In fact, let me pull up an article real quick. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. In fact, I saved it. I want to show you guys this. And the reason why I want to show you guys is because this is the same stuff they're saying right now about crypto and blockchain and all this other stuff. I need to pull this up. This is important. Hold on. I know I saved it. Guys, give me a second. This is important. I want to pull this up. I want to email it to myself. Here we go. Let me look this up real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull this. I gotta pull this up. Here we go. Dang, where's this at? Okay. This is important. I want to show this guys to you. Yeah, web developers are making a killing. Dude, you know how much money web developers were making back in the early days of the web? I mean, now I can go to Wix.com, I can go to GoDaddy, pay $100 and have a website. But do you know how much those same websites, do you know how much those same websites were costing if you went through a web developer? Tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands. Internet may be just now. This is from the Daily Mail. This is from the year 2000, December 5th, 2000. All right, I was still in high school. No. Yeah, I was still in high school. Internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. This is the article right here. I wish you could actually see the article, the whole article, read the whole actual article. But that was back in 2000. Hunt89 says, I was charging 3 to 5K a pop and I was cheap. Yeah, tens of thousands of dollars. Like my Donfo site, my Ilad Mir site, that would have cost about $10,000, probably more. With all the payment integration and all that, they didn't have like apps for that. Or they didn't have like easy plugins for that. That stuff that my Donfo site, my travel site, I know for a fact back in the day when internet just launched. My Donfo site, my travel site, man, this would have been like a $20,000 site back in the day, $10,000 site back in the day. Easy. Why are they rejecting free education? That's the point I'm trying. What do they want? You just want back in 1999, a coworker of mine, his brother made $500,000 in 1999 building websites. I believe it. When I started doing Flash animation, it was 7 to 8K a month. Trust me, I know. I already know. Most of the tech you love today was called stupid at one point. Exactly. Exactly. I charge around 1K for web design. Yeah, I remember Flash animation. I remember when Flash first came out. That's what I'm saying. Listen, if I would have listened to my dad and wasn't just being a consumer. There we go. If I would have listened to my dad and actually produced on the internet instead of being a consumer on the internet back in the day, no telling where I'll be. You're right. The idea of MP3s. Do what? When I remember when the first I remember when I was playing at the when I was at the University of Georgia, and for one of our bowl games, we got an iPod, like an iPod, where you can actually download the music to your iPod. You didn't need a tape. You didn't need a CD. Now, I remember my frat brother said, my frat brother, I remember this, when the iPod first came out, he said that not too far from now, they're going to have a phone where you can have an MP3 player and listen to your music in it. I was like, no way. Then, like maybe 3 or 4 years later, I forgot. iPods came out maybe 2003, maybe 2002. When did iPods come out? Maybe like 2003, maybe 2004. Hold on, let's see here. iPods came out, I think 2003 or 2004. I remember my frat brother saying, "Listen, pretty soon." I mean, we had the T-Mobile Sidekicks. Like the Sidekick was the joint. The Sidekick was the joint. Again, the Sidekick was the joint. So we had the Sidekicks, and he was like, "Pretty soon, you're gonna be able to listen to your music on like your Sidekick on your phone." I think 2006 or 2007, the iPhone dropped. Like 4 years later. So what I'm saying, listen, blockchain isn't going anywhere. Blockchain isn't going anywhere. I want to read this article real quick. Guys, hit that like button. Do me a favor. Hit the like button again. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Here we go. Jay-Z's Bitcoin school met with skepticism in his former housing project. I don't have money to be losing. I don't know how they're losing money. The hip hop mogul loves to rap about his roots in Brooklyn's Marcy housing projects, but classes in cryptocurrency show the billionaire is out of touch, residents say. Marcy houses the 28-acre public housing development in Brooklyn's Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood. Is best known as a pillar of rapper turned mogul, Jay-Z's New York persona. Built in 1949 as part of a push by the New York City Housing Authority to house the city's low-income residents, Marcy had fallen into a state of dangerous disrepair by the 1970s when Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, was growing up there. Where I'm from, Marcy son ain't nothing nice. He raps in Where I'm From. Marcy me just the way I'm always gonna be. He declares in 2017's Marcy Me. But while hip hop's first confirmed billionaire remains intent on not abandoning his roots, residents of the Marcy houses express annoyance and skepticism at Carter's latest venture, the Bitcoin Academy, a series of free, keyword free, keyword free, guys, keyword free financial literacy, which it is. It's financial literacy. Courses being offered exclusively to Marcy tenants this summer. On Wednesday afternoon, as Bitcoin market scraped 2-year lows, and they're going to go back up. Not worried about it. But just okay. Let's ignore the Bitcoin part. Learn blockchain. Learn how to transfer in between wallets. Few residents were aware of the cryptocurrency class is set to begin next week as a project sponsored by Carter and his friend and fellow crypto promoter Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter. At least some of the flyers advertising the course appear to have been simply dumped on the floor of buildings. It's kind of late to be doing that when people are trying to hold on to their dollars and everything is so expensive. The courses are free. It's free. What do you have to invest? It's free, said 50-year-old retiree Myra Raspberry. People don't want to be investing money knowing that they might have a chance of losing it. Raspberry said she had seen news reports about Bitcoin's crash and had no interest in participating in the course. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Okay, guys, let's ignore Bitcoin. Okay, let's just ignore Bitcoin. Again, let's ignore the Bitcoin part. It's blockchain. It is a snapshot. It is applicable because it's a trade. It's a trade. He's going to teach them a trade. So it is applicable. Raspberry says she has, okay, every dime I got to go to rent, phone, TV, and internet. I don't have money like that to be losing. If I did, I would try to invest in something that's more reliable. Like the basketball game last night. Oh my God. You know I'm going to win something from that. She hasn't heard anybody talking about Bitcoin in her community. She said people looking to make money, not lose it. The average household income for public housing residents in New York City is $24,454, according to the New York City Housing Authority. This is how Jay-Z's Bitcoin Academy is being distributed, and Marcy Peach is throwing it in the lobby. Laugh aloud financial literacy. I don't believe they're just throwing it in the lobby. I don't believe they're just throwing it in the lobby. I think the flyers are handed out, or they're placed on a community board or whatever, and people are taking them, just throwing it on the ground. The 12-week Bitcoin Academy course will be taught by Lamar Wilson, who runs the website Black Bitcoin Billionaire, and Naja J. Roberts, the founder and CEO of a brick-and-mortar crypto school in California called Crypto Blockchain Plug. The simple goal is to provide people tools to build independence for themselves. Okay, guys, listen. I want you. I'm gonna read this real slow. I want you guys to read this. I want you guys to listen to this. The simple goal is to provide people tools to build independence, independent from the government, independent from victim mentality. Get the F out of Marcy houses. Get the F out of the projects. Not be dependent on government assistance. Not be dependent on Section 8 and food stamps. Black folks rejected Ice Cube in the contract for Black America. They don't want it. They just want to get rid of the orange man. That's why this idea of saving the hood and going back to the hood and all this stuff. Listen, I used to be for that. I'm over it. I'm over it. It's proven to be a waste of time. For the most part, I hate to say it. I know a lot of you guys are gonna get mad. as far as what I'm about to say. If you go back to the hood and if you're not giving away free money, or if you ain't got footballs, basketballs in hand, or a mixer to make some beats, they don't want it. A spokesperson from um, the simple goal is to provide people tools to build independence for themselves and then the communities around them. Carter tweeted, "Get the hell out of the projects," calling the course at Marcy hopefully the first of many. A spokesperson from the Bitcoin Academy said that the participants will receive a free mobile hotspot device and a smartphone with a data plan as they sit for lectures on topics including what is money, what is blockchain, and how not to get scammed. Oh my goodness. The Academy also plans to grant students a small amount of Bitcoin worth $20 to $25 after they learn to set up their own digital wallets. The spokesperson said an open house event at Marcy over the weekend drew a large and eager crowd of mostly seniors and young people. But younger Marcy House's tenants who spoke to The Guardian were unenthused. Naisha Figueroa, a 24-year-old resident who plans to work as a caretaker for mentally challenged people, said the Bitcoin Academy seemed unhelpful for residents. Have the people that's going to go to the class probably just going to go to the class for the $25 that you get. The other half of the people, they'll probably take what they learn and forget it down the line. Figueroa said the Bitcoin class signified how out of touch the rapper was with his former home. The only thing I could say he really did for us was the Christmas stuff. Okay, listen to this. The only thing I could say, here we go. If you want to do something, fix this place up, she said. We have a basketball court with no hoops. See that? What did I say? What did I say, guys? And listen, I haven't read this whole article, by the way. I skimmed. I read. So before I did the show, all I did was pull it up and I didn't even read the whole article. Again, if you ain't coming with free shit, basketballs, footballs, and a mixer to make some beats, black folks don't want it. Black folks don't want it. And this proves my point. If you want to do something, fix this place up, she said. She said basketball court with no hoops. Our parks is broken up in here. He should be doing more for this community, not no Bitcoin Academy. Waste of time. Again, waste of time. You can't meet these people halfway. I'm telling you, you can't meet them halfway. And see, the thing is, the only thing I could say he really did for us was the Christmas stuff. Every Christmas, he would come around and he would give out free toys to the kids or pocketbooks, perfumes, a little MP3 players. That was good. The Bitcoin ain't. Like I said, they just want free stuff. Well, listen. This is where we're at. Millionaire Maine. Blockchain is hard enough for any American to digest, though. The skepticism isn't really anything new or specific to those residents. All right, well then just listen, just stay, just enjoy your trinkets, stay in the projects, continue to be dependent on the government, and that's it. Like I said, I apologize to Jay-Z. I apologize to these athletes that don't go back to the hood. I apologize. Figueroa added that the holiday giveaways haven't happened in a while. He stopped coming around. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for not coming around. I don't blame him. I no longer blame him for not coming around. He stopped coming around, and it was just his mother that was coming around for a long period of time. And now I don't even know if they do it anymore. Yeah, I don't blame him. Stop it. Shut it down. I don't blame him. This is where he's from and all that, but he don't do nothing for us. He ain't got to do nothing. He tried to. I don't want it. So I don't blame him. All right, here's the basketball court with no hoop. But I can tell you right now why there's no hoop on the basketball, why the hoop is missing. Because it was destroyed. Because, they were probably fighting on a basketball court, probably shooting on a basketball court, and it was destroyed. That's probably why. That's why. Probably shootouts, fights, and it was destroyed. That's why they're like, forget it. We're not adding no more rims here. Carter has directed some of his philanthropy, including scholarships and toy giveaways to Marcy's more than 4,000 predominantly Black and Latino residents. The last toy giveaway by the Sean Carter Foundation occurred in 2017. According to the website of Carter's wife, Beyonce, and cost $8,452. The Sean Carter Foundation did not immediately return a request for comment. One Marcy resident, Louis Rivas, did express enthusiasm for the class, saying, I would like to learn how they become a millionaire and learn what to trade and what not to trade. Okay, Luis, okay. Luis Rivas. So I'm guessing he's Latino. I don't know if he's Black, Dominican, or whatever, but Luis Rivas, like the Latino man, the non-Black man wants to learn. Rivas, who is unemployed, said he had been acquainted with Jay-Z when they were both teenagers. Now he's a billionaire, and I'm still living in the effing ghetto. So he's going to take advantage of it. Since it was announced last week, the Bitcoin Academy has faced criticism from tech commentators who have accused the project of preying on financially vulnerable people. How? By learning, how you preying on financially vulnerable people by learning blockchain and learning skills that are applicable where you can get jobs. Some have compared the marketing of crypto to how predatory lenders targeted people of color with subprime loans in a run-up to the 2008 housing crisis. I mean, but there's no proof that they're saying go out and buy Dogecoin or go out and buy you know what coin. There's no proof of that. There's absolutely no proof of that. None of that's listed here. Now, if they're encouraging our people to go out and buy an S coin, an ish coins, then that's one thing. But just learning blockchain, learning about Bitcoin, which isn't going anywhere. Again, which isn't going anywhere. You can't say it's predatory. I got to defend Jay-Z on this one. Proponents of cryptocurrency have long defended the technology as a way to build a new financial system for lower income people. I agree. Proponents of cryptocurrency have long defended the technology as a way to build a new financial system for lower income people. A 2021 research paper commissioned by a major New York City-based cryptocurrency exchange, Gemini, argued that cryptocurrency could benefit unbanked populations of Mexico, India, and Indonesia. So again, it's not going nowhere. Yes, there needs to be more regulation. Again, it's not going nowhere. Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. Here we go. Let me read this part. Gerald, a Brooklyn resident with friends and family living in Marcy, who declined to give his last name, was a small charity that gives people Bitcoin. But even he said that financial literacy wouldn't solve Marcy's biggest issue, which is lack of capital, lack of resources, and lack of funding for our communities. Okay, so you want so this see this is why this is you know what backwards. I'm trying not to cuss. This is why it is you know what ass backwards. Excuse my language. So you want Jay Z or whatever institution to give people money without giving them first financial literacy. That's what you want. I said invest in blockchain. So cryptocurrency firms are laying people off, and we're supposed to invest in this. Dude, it's free. And see that's crazy. So when these corporate 500 companies, when these businesses lay people off, the minute they start rehiring after they lay people off, y'all be the first person in line yelling, "Hey, Amazon hiring, this company hiring, that company's hiring, they hiring at Kroger. They need to raise minimum wage." So once again, the argument is, well, some companies that deal with cryptocurrency, that deal with blockchain, are laying off. All companies are laying off. But when these other companies start laying people off, the minute they start rehiring people, y'all be the first people back in line trying to get a job for them. I swear, just some of the thinking, man. It's just it's crazy. But again, it's free. The blockchain courses he was offering, completely free and of value. Someone teaching someone about Bitcoin doesn't even have $100 in their savings account is not helpful. Maybe because they don't have financial literacy, which he's teaching. And he's giving them $25 in Bitcoin, which is going to go up in value. See, a lot of it, see, again, is a constant victim mentality. Constant victim mentality. That's what it is. The $25 he's giving is better than nothing. The $25 he's giving them is better than nothing. The free courses are actual trade that they can use. Again, thank you, Yamoja. See, they don't get it. They don't get it. Layoffs with this digital financial literacy, you can create your own damn job. Yamoja, they don't get it. You got okay. You learn how to build. You learn how to build blockchain, right? Program on blockchain. You got Fiverr. You got Upwork. You got all these private companies that hire you. You got all these opportunities waiting for you to work for yourself. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room here in a second, Romeo. They don't get it. They don't get it. Nah, so I'm gonna get Sky Daddy. I promise you, I'm gonna do another show giving the solutions. You just gotta work with what Alexis is saying. You just gotta work with like-minded people, and I'm telling you, they will come. Like I have this platform, people come. You just gotta work with like-minded people, but you can't really go the apostle, preaching pastor, going around hood to hood, how you're going to save everybody. It's not working. It's just it's not working. I mean, look at this free resource, and they rejected it. Teaching someone about Bitcoin that does not even have $100 in their savings account is not helpful. He told The Guardian via social media. Then, of all places to do it in Marcy projects, those people are just trying to survive and see the next day. He's giving them a trade and a resource where they would no longer have to live check to check or be in survival mode. That's what Jay-Z is doing. Learning blockchain technology is key. You could turn Marcy project into a blockchain hub. To Gerald, the image of Bitcoin Academy flyers shown on the floor spoke volumes. The fact that it was on the floor like that, it honestly symbolizes how people feel about poor people in general. On the surface, it looks like folks want to help, but once you start peeling back the layers, you realize nobody really cares. Like I said, I'm not buying that they just came and just started throwing flyers on the floor. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying unless they could show proof that somebody just showed up with the flyers and just dumped them on the floor. I'm not buying that. They were distributed properly, and people took the flyers and threw them on the ground. That's what happened. That's what happened. I like I said, I doubt that they were just thrown on the floor. Like people just came, whoever Jay-Z street team or whatever, just came, showed up, and just dumped it. Because so for what, Snapshot? Because so for what? They want handouts. Because so for what? Because so for what? They want basketball and video games. That's what they want. All right, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. Link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Guys, blockchain is the future. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you feel about it. It's the future. And Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's a hand up, not a handout. There you go. They obviously want a handout. Can't do it. And that's not Jay-Z's job to do it. Period. The guys, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. There we go. The guys, links in the chat. Shots reviews. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Hear you just fine.
Oh, cool. Thanks for having me on. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to explain. Now, I'm not hitting on whether blockchain or Bitcoin is a good or a bad thing. That's not my point. The thing is, first of all, Jay-Z in this situation is a bit of an opportunist, and I'll circle back to explain that bit a bit later. But have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Basically, the principle
I have not, no.
Okay.
I have not.
So
no.
basically, the principle with Maslow's hierarchy of needs is if people's base needs are not met, it's not possible to expect them to be able to operate in the best versions of themselves. So when you're
let me interject. So you sound like you're in the UK, right? You're in the UK, correct? I'm sorry, let me interject. You're in the UK, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So number one, when they say basic needs aren't met, if you understood, I'm pretty sure it's similar in the UK. If you only understood how subsidized these communities are when it comes to food, when it comes to housing and shelter, power, everything, how subsidized these communities are. I'm not buying the pyramid or whatever you just said. These communities are heavily subsidized.
Yeah, yeah, okay, all right. In that area, but if they're going back to the needs, you can map it to anything. You can even map it to education, right? Yeah, I'm not trying to like stereotype people from the Marcy projects or anything like that, but what I'm trying to say is when you're trying to help people, as Jay-Z is trying to help them in this situation, it's very important to not come at it from an angle of I'm going to give you what I think you need versus what you think you actually need, because you won't get anywhere that way. Now, let's say, for example, instead of him setting up this Bitcoin,
Yeah, but
hold on, let me land, please. Instead of him setting up this Bitcoin school right now, say, for example, he set up a trade school where people could learn plumbing, people could learn barbering, people could learn mechanics, anything that they can actually turn their hands to and do in the physical world. Then 2-3 years down the line, once they've started making money and earning, they're now in a position where they've moved higher up the hierarchy of needs, and now they're able to take on things like Bitcoin and take advantage of that. But you have to start where people are at before you can take them to where you need them to be. Do you understand?
What's the difference between learning a trade like Bitcoin versus, I mean, like blockchain? I'm sorry, learning a trade like blockchain versus everything you just mentioned.
If people don't have a point of reference, first of all, it can be hard for them to see themselves doing that or in that role. But also with blockchain and learning how to do that, it's not just the course that's involved. I'm imagining you need to have a certain computer, you need to have certain reliable broadband. There's other things that you can't assume everyone has equal access to beyond the course. What I'm
They were
saying is,
they were providing all of that
what they were in the course.
for the
When,
course. They were giving free
yeah, but
smartphones and free internet access.
when those students went home, did they have access to broadband at home or a computer at home? Because the thing is, that whole article, when he's getting the backlash from the community and they're saying this isn't quite relevant for us, that shows me that Jay-Z and his team haven't even thought to just speak to the residents to say, what do you need? It's very easy if you're in a position where you can take advantage of these things. And
No. They stated. Well, let me interject. Let me land. They stated what they needed. They want handouts. That's what they needed. They said they want more basketball rims. They want more giveaways. That's what they wanted. They stated it.
Yeah, but they're saying that at this point. But before Jay-Z even set up the course, should he not have had a conversation with the people there? You can't just go to any random community and say, hey, this is good for me and these other people on the other side of town, and here, this automatically will work for you. Because like I say, if people don't have that point of reference, it's going to be very hard for them, and the extra support around it, it's going to be very hard for a lot of them to capitalize on that need. Now, going back to Jay-Z, what you kind of got to understand with him, and what I've kind of noticed with him, is during the Obama years, he was in and out of that White House almost every week. He could have turned around at any point and said, Mr. President, this is what's needed in the Black community in America, and these are some programs you can kind of help to push. But he didn't do any of that. It wasn't until Obama got out of the White House and Donald Trump got in, you started to see Jay-Z twist up his hair, throwing his fist in the air, trying to pretend like he's down with the people. TD Hip Hop done a video a couple of months ago where he said people asked him, why don't you try and help the Marcy projects? Why don't you try and do something around housing or try and help it? And he actually turned around and said, because they're not ready, they're not financially literate, or they're not ready to take advantage of this opportunity. So he in himself has got a low level of expectations from them. So going back to what I was saying earlier.
Okay, so let me say this snapshot. So by him providing financial literacy and for them to reject it, was he right or wrong?
He he was wrong if he didn't speak to the community first. If you're trying to help someone, I'm sorry, you have to take your ego out of it and what you've seen your other rich friends do and take advantage of, and you actually have to speak to them to find out what is it that you need. And if they say basketball rims and all that kind of stuff, then you can challenge them. Okay, is that real? Right, we can leverage this money for the community, but is that really a good use of time? I think if you consult with people and you make them feel part of that decision-making process, you're more likely to get a more sustainable result out of helping them. You can't just, like I say, you can't just parachute in with something that's worked for a bunch of millionaires and expect people who are below the breadline to be able to take those same advantages. That's just not fair.
So if this works for, but you just mentioned there's no point of reference. So you just proved that there's a point of reference, that there's a bunch of millionaires who've made money off of this new technology. That's the point of reference. Look, there's this new upcoming technology. Hold on. Hey, there's this new upcoming technology, blockchain. Hey, free courses. Come, let's roll.
Yeah, but there is things involved in actually doing the. I don't know how the blockchain thing works, but there are things that I imagine in this course they're going to teach you about the blockchain that they don't have a point of reference in. It's programming, if it's I don't know, algorithm making or whatever, they might not have that point of reference, and that's what I'm saying. This could have been this project.
Again, it's just the community, the Black community is great at unaccountability and excuses. It's excuses. I mean, again, you're in the projects. I'm pretty sure these people in the projects have been in the projects for generations. Here comes the opportunity. We got more excuses. Sure, it's excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse.
But Dynas, you have to give them the opportunity to buy into the process. And you can't do that unless you speak to them first. This could have been, he could have had a series of, like, I don't know, mini town halls in the community center or whatnot to actually speak to them. And I don't think he's done that.
Otherwise, here we go. Town hall meeting. Do you know how many town hall meetings?
Yeah, I don't mean,
bro. Do you know how many? No, hold on. Do you know how many town hall? Do you know how many town hall meetings and Fight for Power and Killer Mike and this person and this activist and that activist and this activist and we gotta do this, we gotta do that. Every single day there's a new town hall meeting and how we gonna rise up. I mean,
I hear you. Don't get hung up on the word town hall, right? I was just using that as an example of getting people together to talk about an idea, right? Yeah. What I'm saying is, with this, when you're doing community work, because I do community work, and I've done it in areas where I don't even live, I've learned that and I'm pretty sure it's the same for America as it is here. You cannot come into an area that you cannot come into an area, or you cannot be doing things for other people without consulting them first. And if he had consulted them properly, it might not have been this blockchain thing. It might have been something else, but it would have been relevant for the people. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Dude, listen. Snapshot. All I know is snapshot. All I know, Black wealth is going to zero by 2050. A lot of these people in these projects probably been there for generations. I mean, I guarantee you that people have came to these communities and offered solutions, had town hall meetings, and all this other stuff. Again, it gets nowhere. Here's the opportunity. Teach you guys blockchain. Take it or leave it. If they say no, we're good. Okay, continue to be a victim. I mean, it's just we've done all this for years and years and years. The people who want to do it, they'll jump on board. Everybody else, just be a victim. Just be a victim.
Okay, but then why are we hung up on this one incident then? If this has happened for like loads of other initiatives, why is it this one blockchain incident that's now news?
Because again, it just because I would say this, more people are being more vocal about it now. Another thing, I gotta apologize to Jay-Z. I gotta apologize to the people who don't go back to the hood. You know, because again, it proves the point that we just want to be constant victims and we're just full of excuses.
I
That's what it
think
means.
he's I think he's offered something to to the residents that they're not in a position to take full advantage of. And what that's also done now is giving him the excuse to say, see, I tried to do something and they didn't want it. Whether if he had come in there with something more relevant,
Nah,
whatever
that's
that
not. That's not. That,
results would be different. Well, we don't know. We don't know. But I kind of feel like if I'm working with if I'm working right, this is just this is just a metaphor, right? So don't hang up on exactly what I'm saying. But if I'm
yeah.
working with a toddler and I'm expecting this toddler to ride a mountain bike when they can only really ride a three wheeler, I'm setting myself up for disappointment because I'm not meeting that child where they're at, and that's what I'm trying to explain. You have to meet people
It's an excuse. I don't know.
where
It's
you,
just it's
that's not
excuses. It's excuses.
an excuse. Would be
It's
an
excuses.
excuse. I think an excuse would be I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. And I don't think that they I don't know. I don't think that's what they're saying. I think they're saying what I think they're saying the program or whatever was on offer is just not relevant for us right now. That's all.
Oh my god. So get okay. So getting on the ground floor of a technology that already is people are adopting
Yeah,
faster
but
than the internet back in the early in the mid
you're
'90s is not useful. It's just that's
you're looking at it from an angle of people of a person that's already used to that. These people might not be that. Some of the people in that Marcy project might be I don't know combat veterans suffering with PTSD. You can't necessarily expect them to be able to just be full functioning members of society because they have other needs that they need to work with before they can get to that point. There could be some people that have been, I don't know, in prison and just released, and they haven't got those computer skills yet. So there might be some other intro to computing course that needs to happen before the blockchain happens. But you won't know that unless you speak to people. That's what I'm saying. And he clearly didn't do that.
Okay, thank you for letting me
hey
into the
go ahead,
air.
Go ahead, Miss Judy. Go ahead,
Yes, I live in
Judy.
the
Go
New
ahead.
York
Unmute yourself.
City area. Okay, okay, I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
You're good. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, so I live in the New York City area. I live in Brooklyn, matter of fact. And I'm a nurse, so I know about Maslow hierarchy of needs. I remember learning that in nursing school. So, and I'm quite, living in New York State, we pay some of the highest taxes in the union. And living in New York City, we pay a lot of taxes that address a lot of people's needs on that lower level of Maslow's needs: food, clothing, and shelter. We have some of the best programs in the country to address those issues, whether it's housing with Section 8, whether it's food stamps. We offset a lot of this New York State offsets a lot of those programs by charging residents higher taxes to take advantage of those programs. You get Medicaid card, you could swipe that card and get all type of health care that even I can't get as a working person with private insurance. So, and I say all that to say, and then Sean Carter has his Carter Foundation that he does a lot of work across the country addressing those needs. Okay. So I think this article is written, and I lived near projects. I remember I lived up the street from a project in Manhattan, and my best friend, whose family lived in that project, she and I took an entrance exam to Stuyvesant High School here in New York City, which is one of the best high schools in the city. So kids and people who live in projects have a lot of opportunities to come their way. Don't just think that, the folks who live in there are like the bottom of the barrel as far as social wise. They get a lot of opportunities. I met a lot of kids in those projects who were involved in all kind of gifted programs in school, and everything else. So I think this article is basically written from the point of view of those folks who live there, who may just sit on the bench, hang out in the corner, slinging the drugs, and doing all that kind of activity that live in those, maybe live in Marcy. I think the article is written from their point of view and not written from the point of view of the kid who lives or the kid's mother who's raising a kid who's in a gifted program in New York City public school system, or who has that child in all kind of activities in the city, got her child involved in this and that and this and that and everything else that's free, that this paid for by a lot of New York City taxpayers. Okay.
See, okay,
so
yeah,
that's my opinion.
I totally
understand. And I think from a kid who grew up in Marcy, Jay-Z himself, I'm quite sure he had experiences with a lot of social workers coming through, offering kids things, agencies, a lot. These projects get inundated with a lot of help from people, whether it's the Red Cross, this, that, and everything. So you're offering something different. We have a lot of celebrities who've come through New York who give out turkeys, addressing Maslow, give out turkeys during Thanksgiving. Okay? You had a lot of basketball players go to different projects in Harlem giving out sneakers.
But Jay-Z didn't
those needs are being addressed. Those, and like I said, he did other work through his foundation, Sean Carter Foundation, that have addressed those needs. He runs a foundation. You don't think he did a needs study? He runs a foundation. I'm quite sure as people run these foundations, they do needs studies. So he wants to offer something that the Red Cross and all these other goodwill, good meaning foundations that probably won't offer in these communities. The City Hall is not going to offer through their summer youth program or whatever. And what's wrong with that? Nothing. So that mother who has a gifted child will send her child to that program, who lives in apartment 1A in that project. That mother will do it. Now, if the mother down the hall whose son is out on the corner slinging can't get her son to go and do it, then whose problem is that?
Well, that would be her problem. But what I'm trying to say is, yes, he probably does run all these organizations, and you know a lot better than I do on it. But he didn't make sure that the right people were interviewed for that article, did he?
Does he have control? Did the publisher of that article contact him and say, we want to do an article on your program. Do you have anybody we can talk to? We don't know that.
Jay-Z
maybe they went through the projects themselves, just scouting, looking for people to talk to.
Jay-Z,
we don't know,
and he will make sure that any kind of publicity around him has been vetted by his people.
Right, but we don't know if that author of that article.
Hold on. Let me interject. Snapshot. Is Jay-Z? Do you think he vetted this right here? What we're doing? What do you mean vetted by his people? It's America. You have the right to write any article on anything that you want to. You don't have to go. There's really, unless it's slanderous. I mean, there's no vet. There's no check and vet people to write an article. Like Judy. Hold on, Snapshot. Like Judy said, I could right now myself go to Marcy Projects. Hey, how do you feel about Jay-Z's Bitcoin Academy? Ain't no vetting, ain't no Jay-Z. I got to get permission from Jay-Z's representative. So
then where is the counter article for the people from that area that say this is the best thing since sliced bread?
Well, the program just started, so give it some time. Maybe when they graduate, their first group of graduates, there'll be some reporter who writes an article about it. But my point is this: there's plenty of families in these projects who are middle class, hardworking people who will send their child to a program like that.
I hope so.
There's plenty of bus drivers who live in these projects, because it's all income based. this housing, NYCHA. So there's plenty of bus drivers who live in there. There might be some nurses who live in there. These are not just all, you know, people whose mother's a crack addict or what have you, or people on welfare, whatever you. And there's some women who live in there who is single mother on welfare who has a child in a gifted program. Believe it. And she will make sure her child attends that program. So even what's his name did the same thing in California with his coding program, Nipsey. So if you have these celebrities and they're taking the time, they believe in this technology, they believe in this coding, what's happening, and they want to make sure that those of us are in it, and maybe they realize that other folks is not going to bring it. So let me bring it. What's wrong with that? Even if only one person shows up. It can't be said 10, 20 years, 30 years down the road that nobody tried. Well, yes, someone tried, but you didn't heed the call. You didn't support it. But somebody did try. And that's all I have.
Hey, J Bones, go ahead, J Bones. You got to mute yourself, J Bones.
My bad. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. The what's his name? Shout out to you, Dionysus. It's I read the article actually, so I was kind of surprised when you popped up today and you was doing the when you started talking about it. I read it like a couple of days ago. It's exactly what you expect. I mean, in the article, you see basically where we are as a people. Like, this thing is it's a real example of how these people can get a chance in Marcy to get a hand up. Those programs are free. I mean, they're providing, if you read the article closely, a phone plan, a phone with a data plan. You understand what I'm saying? And you're getting a free Wi-Fi device, and you're getting free classes. Even going deeper, there's actually another article that I think they were talking about it on Hot 97. The same thing, where if you go to the classes, they're actually offering free food too. So you read the article and you see the comments in the section, or you see the comments inside the article, and what are they asking for? Well, if he wants to help out, he's out of touch with Marcy. He ain't been here in a while. He don't know nobody. You know, that's that old school thing with us. Dinas is like, man, you done changed. You know, Jay-Z went Hollywood on us. You know, you left the hood. You don't know how it is to be around here no more. But he came back and he's actually doing something. But what did they ask for? Why don't you fix the hoops on the basketball court? It's like, we've heard this before. This ain't the first time that it's happened to. I think it was last year. Mayor Ras Barak did the same thing. He was offering some sort of free classes specifically for a lot of young black men in Newark, New Jersey, and Brick City. And absolutely, it was like barely anybody showed up, but the funds were there. They put out the information for it. Nobody showed up. It's the same thing. They just want to complain and complain and complain and complain. If you want to get something done, Dynas, you'll do it. This ain't got nothing to do with Hove changing nobody. Oh, he's out of touch with the people there. Oh, he grew up here, but he doesn't know anybody no more. He don't come around no more. He used to come around and give us gifts in the Christmas time. What are you talking about? Jay-Z's been doing stuff for people in Marcy projects for years. Let's roll back to another person, actually. Nas. Nas has the Queensbridge Development Project, and he has several projects over there in Queens where he directly helps people. But they say the same thing about Nas too. They talk about Nas don't do enough. You know, when they get money, they change on us, blah, 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 this and that. You read what's in the article, Dynas. What do you see? A free cell phone with a data plan. You don't have to pay for it.
And Jay, if I can interject real quick, so
go ahead, bro.
Snapshot Reviews, who was on here, was like, well, what if they don't have Wi-Fi? He's giving them free data.
He's giving them free Wi-Fi. You get a free Wi-Fi device. When I first read the article, I was like, yo, shout out to Jay. This is a game changer. because everybody's talking about Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto. Everybody's talking about it. It can literally change the way you operate. You don't even have to walk outside your house anymore once you really put yourself into it. Once you put yourself into it, you're going down a path where you can basically work from home. You can make your own money. You can start a business doing this. This is a
And
hand up.
and a free
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and a free Wi-Fi you can use for other things while
For
you
other
have
things. For
the
other things.
service.
Exactly. Yeah.
And free
It's
food, you get a free food. So that addresses a hierarchy need. Somebody's feeding you free for the day.
once
So
I
what's the
heard
problem?
once I saw that at the bottom of the paragraph, if he needs to do something, why don't he fix the basketball courts around here? I said,
Well,
we
why
know
don't they not break them? Or why
why
don't they
did
fix them themselves?
Yeah,
why
Why
don't you
why don't
stop?
you not
hold on,
break
hold
them?
on,
Like
hold on.
how many
Why
times
don't
are
you
they gonna
not
fix the
break it?
basketball court?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
don't you
How
not
about
break
not
them?
fight? How about not fight on them? How about not have shootouts at the basketball court and
How
fights?
about not break the hoops off the basketball? Like
How,
every
how,
time
how
they
about
fixed it.
fixing them yourself? How about
Yeah,
that? Fixing them yourself.
if you want to hoop so bad, why don't you just fix it yourself? They fix it
Exactly.
back in. They've been fixing those hoops over there in Marcy Project since Jay-Z was a baby. I mean, when he was a baby, they fixed it. And then back in 85, they fixed it. Then 1990, they fixed it. Then 95, they fixed it. I think after a while, they just stopped fixing it.
And why can't Jay-Z's level of helping elevate? When he was just an upcoming rapper, he started, Rockefeller Records. He dropped his first album, Heart Not Life. So he did the things at that level of a person that he was. So he came through and gave you some sneakers and he gave you some hoops. But now he's different. He's a billionaire.
Very,
So
very different.
he's not gonna do things at that same level anymore. I
No,
would have did it probably at that level too. But the
true.
more I evolve and grow and my pockets get deeper, I see the world deeper and I see that I'm just fishing for you. Now I'm gonna teach you how to fish. I'm gonna teach you how to fish.
Hey, listen, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Larry makes a great point. Let me put this in here. Let me put this in here. Hold on. And this
Yeah,
is and this goes towards the
I'm not
so-called
gonna fish for
ADOS.
you anymore.
Hold
I'm
on one
gonna
second.
teach you how to fish for
Let me find
yourself.
let me find this. Where's a Larry? Let me find this comment by Larry real quick. Larry brings up a great point. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. Imagine if lots of Nigerians signed up onto those Bitcoin courses. So this is the thing: ADOS, FBA, they complain and whine, no opportunities. We need reparations. The immigrants are coming over. They ain't on code. The immigrants ain't on code. I guarantee if Jay Z did a Bitcoin and blockchain
In
course
Flatbush,
in,
where I live,
or in
and he came to
Nigeria,
Flatbush.
If Jay Z and the guy that used to own Twitter did this in Nigeria, it would be standing room only. They will pack out everything. It will be nobody complaining. It would be full. I promise you, Jay Z.
It would be flooded.
Yeah,
It would be flooded with a whole
yeah,
bunch of Kenyans,
It would be
a whole
flooded.
bunch of
yes.
Nigerians, a whole bunch of
Dinus,
Jamaicans.
Dinus. If he brought the program Crosstown to where I live in Flatbush, largely Caribbean community, Jamaicans, Haitians, everybody. You're right. People will be complaining up the Yahoo. He took it to a predominantly, it pretty much still is, Black American community, Bedford Stuyvesant, even though it's being gentrified. And people find all these excuses of why it's not good enough. Unbelievable. If he
Like,
brought that in Flatbush,
They would
people
be
wouldn't be
there.
complaining. They would
And
be there.
in Flatbush, those Trinidadians will be breaking down the doors to get in that class. Them
Jamaicans, everybody
Trinidadians,
would
them
be there.
Jamaicans, them Barbade, everybody would be breaking down the doors to get in
Exactly.
there. It's just excuses on top. Once I read the article, as soon as I saw why doesn't he fix the basketball courts, I said, you niggas ain't changed. That was the first thing that cat said. You niggas still ain't, you niggas ain't changed. Like this is just pure buffoonish nonsense. It's not the first time I see no Diners. Like even Nas, they was going at Nas a couple of years ago about his Queensbridge project, the development thing that he has going, talking about it was the same thing with him too. Oh, they don't come around no more. They don't come around the hood. They didn't changed on us. I mean, how many
What?
times you heard that when we was growing up? It was the same
What?
thing. Oh, they didn't changed on us. They didn't changed on. Look, somebody in
What?
the article said it.
Come around to get killed? Why would
Come
they
around
come
and get
around to
shot up
get
and
killed?
die. Yeah, come
Why?
around.
Like what
Yeah,
happened to Nipsey? Why?
exactly. Yeah, you wrote down Crenshaw. I'm pretty sure Nipsey Hussle's blood is still right there on the corner. It's still laid up on the side of the curb over there.
Yeah. Woquill, go ahead, Woquill. Unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, here you go ahead.
Peace, Diners. Peace to everybody in the panel. Peace to the chat. I just wanted to just jump in and add some context to like the program, and I think that a lot of people are just missing one thing. Is it's called Bitcoin Academy, but the main underlying thing is education. If you look at the sponsorship behind it, it's Cash App Financial Institution. Sean Carter Foundation is the one that's putting up the money. It really just sounds like kind of like what Jay Bones was saying, is that we essentially just want Jay-Z to just give us everything in the world that we desire without working for it. It's like instead of being taught how to fish, we want all the fish given to us. So I think I think this program and how people are responding to it is just going to show that ultimately Black people want liberation handed to us by the hands of either our rich elites or from white people. That's pretty much pretty much Judy and everybody else said what I wanted to say, but that was all I really had.
Don't offer. Don't you dare offer this class to some Indians.
Oh,
Don't you
Indians,
dare.
everybody's gonna take this.
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare
I'm
offer this
okay.
class to some Indians.
My
It
people
would
don't
be
care.
a wrap.
It would be a wrap. It would be a wrap. They would
Actually,
own
J
half.
Bone,
Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say I want to give even. I had another thing that just came to my mind. I work in fintech. I won't say who, but one of the biggest fintech companies in the world. I'll just go out and say it's a big level company. When I'm at work and when I'm looking at the people who want to be engineers, I'm looking at the people that want to be project managers. It's Asians, it's Indians, and it's white people. And the few white people that I talk to is usually white people that came from good homes as well. So I think just from being in the industry that is trying to help facilitate these programs, I don't even see the Black people that are in there taking those opportunities as well. So I think this is just an issue across the board where we can have almost like NGO level assistance by the government and by our celebrity class, and we just still don't want to take advantage of it.
And still reject it. And still reject it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've worked with companies that have done projects where we'll do, say, it could be literally you sign up, you come into the course for like a month, and you could get $1,000 in cash in your account. Nobody Black is showing up for this. We've done things where a school has lost accredited funding, and we say, hey, we can help you guys maybe get some vouchers on some things. Here's backpacks. Here's all this thing. It's Indians, Caribbeans. It's even Russians is pulling up. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not the first.
matter.
I've seen this before. Like it's not the first time. Let me tell you something. It was my junior. I think it was like my junior year at Notre Dame. They were offering because Notre Dame is in South Bend. They did a free program in Gary, Indiana, which is predominantly African American, and they did like a free. It was like free food, free courses, free, basically free anything, and they would take you directly from the classes into these tech companies for Amazon, for
like job placement.
yeah, but it was like you were making real money. Like they had positions up $30 an hour, $25 an hour in Gary, Indiana, of all places. Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. It was so disheartening. I'm like, yo, this is free. Like this is a situation where it's a real game changer. This is a real game changer. This could be something good for us.
I don't think we want positivity though. I think I've come to I'm young, I'm 29, but in my lifetime I've just come to learn that we don't embrace positivity. Like we literally have organizations that are like the nuclear family is toxic. Like the only thing we celebrate is negativity. I think if Jay-Z was giving out fried chicken and BBLs, the line would be out the corner.
Oh, you know that for sure, bro. You don't even have to. You know that for sure, brother. You know that for sure, man. You see a whole bunch of brothers standing in line talking about, "Hey, man, you trying to listen? I got this mixtape right now. I need you to check out my mixtape." That's what I mean. We real backwards right now. Like I don't know,
Now,
bro.
now this you just put up dynasty. I have to take. I don't totally agree with that because, like I said, there's a lot of kids that live in these projects that come from working middle class families. There's a lot of bus drivers, nurses, also
Hmm.
in these projects. These projects are not just filled with, women, single women on welfare.
No, I agree. I think we were quick to
I
just say
think,
that just because they live in the hood, they're just stupid.
you do have that element that's there, but you also have a lot of folks in there who get up and go to work every day, who have kids in gifted programs, who scout out all kind of the best things they can find for their children. The New York City has to offer. And when I first read about this project, I said, "Damn, why is it not in Flatbush?"
Oh,
I
Judy,
wanted him to
Miss Judy, if I sorry, Elder, if I can interject,
I wanted
golly,
him to open it up wider than just
well,
Marcy Project.
Miss Jones, 1 second, guys, golly, it's not just about Bitcoin, it's blockchain, people. It's blockchain, the technology. People saying, well, people ain't got no money for Bitcoin. It's not just about Bitcoin. Bitcoin ain't just blockchain. It's the blockchain. It's the technology that they're going to be learning, which is the
Facts.
future. And it ain't going nowhere. And everybody that's saying Bitcoin's a scam and all this, Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry.
Hey, Dynasty.
Yeah. What?
The United States government has already said it's an asset. It's an asset
Yeah,
class. It's not
It's a
going
what's
nowhere.
his name? Dinas, let me tell you, somebody said it in
yeah,
the chat. Somebody has said something in the chat, and they were doing this. When I was I was doing a summer study, just 3 month summer study at Princeton. They were giving out free cybersecurity classes over there.
yeah.
You leave and you make $120,000 off rip. Like this is free
Facts.
stuff for our people. This is free stuff. Nobody's nobody. We're not attacking each other. We're not trying to make each other feel bad about it. But it's like we just want to see each other in a better position. I want to see my brothers and sisters in a better position. That's all it is. But this stuff is just weird. Like when I was reading the article, like why don't you fix the basketball courts? What do you what? Would you? Why don't you fix the basketball courts? What are you talking about? The basketball courts.
We're
What is
not
that?
fixing any more basketball courts. We're not giving out any more turkeys. We're not
Right.
giving out any more sneakers.
I kind of
We're
hate that
not
too,
doing
Miss
those
Judy.
things.
Like this thing where a lot of these dudes come back and they build basketball courts all the damn time. I'm like, yo, stop building those damn basketball courts.
Mr. Hashim, Mikhail, go ahead, brother. Unmute yourself.
Peace and blessings, man. Can you hear me?
Hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had to jump on this video when I saw the topic, blockchain and Jay-Z and all of this. It's like, sometimes, people have the opportunity like Jay-Z where he can have access to like knowledge. And he can because that's how he makes money because he has access to knowledge. He has common sense, he knows math pretty well. And blockchain is a similar thing. Yeah, it may take you a little while to figure out your wallet and whatnot, but he's giving you a free phone, he's giving you internet access and putting $25 worth of crypto in there. You know, I only started with $10 of crypto when I started, so people got a bigger advantage than I had, you know. And like as far as developers go on the blockchain, once you know how to program and develop, you in the 100,000 or more plus category then, So yeah, it's something good to know.
Very true, sir. Very true.
I
And,
was. Go ahead, sister.
oh no, go ahead, brother. So,
No, you had a thought. Go ahead. Continue.
no, yeah, I had a thought. Since Jay Z comes from this background of 520 State Street, kind of background. Who's to say that one of those kids, I don't know, take the class, and may figure out a better way to flip and turn this 520 State Street money. Who's to say that a group of them take this class and may figure out, oh, there's a way to, because, we're very smart people. I mean, you got a lot of smart people, do things that, make those kind of choices.
What do you
So
have to
who's to
lose?
say that they might find out that there's a legal way that you could be really smart and make a lot of money?
See, that's the good thing, because it's legal. Number one, you're not like doing anything outlandish, and even with my little bit of knowledge of crypto and cryptocurrency, I made enough money to go to Africa and come back in crypto, you know. And Dinah saw me over there, so he knows what I'm saying is real. Crypto is real. Blockchain is real. It's not going nowhere. It's more secure than probably what your banking institution is, as far as, your,
And kill. That's Mr. Hashim. That's my point to all the people. It's a scam. It's this, that, and other. It's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. It's being widely adopted. It's going to be adopted even more. It's not going nowhere. Yamoja, go ahead. Yamoja, unmute yourself.
Hi, yes, Dinus, thanks for having me. And hello to the panel.
Mhm.
I think it's a culture of fear. I experienced the same thing, and I think I put this in the chat. I had a nonprofit. I was here doing some tech work I was in New Orleans, and I was trying to help Section 8 holders transition their vouchers into homeownership. And I knew that one of the pushbacks would be, well, what am I going to do for work? So the developer of one of the housing projects also owned a hotel. So I was working with him to see that if I got some of the residents trained on basic tech skills, data entry, spreadsheets, that kind of thing, would he hire some of them if they were able to transition their vouchers and actually have a home and, need to have the income for the maintenance and that kind of thing, other than just paying the mortgage. So I got all of that set up, and, I tried to have a couple of sessions with some of the tenants, and just no feedback. It was always about, well, what happens if I can't pay my rent, or I can't pay my utilities, or if something happens. And transitioning the voucher from renter to home ownership, they still have a lot of the protections, aside from having like a soft second. I think the city of New Orleans was given like about $40,000 as a soft second, as long as they stayed in their home for 5 years. So they were getting upfront cash. They would get support. They weren't going to lose the rest of their benefits, healthcare and food benefits. But I could not get people to get out of that renter mentality and use that voucher to have a home, to be able to transition to their kids. It just, a few people got involved and were interested, but we were looking to pull in 12 to 15 people, and we got 2 people interested. And it was the fear. Well, if I lose, if the program funding goes away, then I'll have to start at the bottom again. And some of that might have been true. And so there needs to be some protections in place from a legislative perspective. But for the most part, that just hasn't happened. So many people that have had Section 8 vouchers have had them for years. So, but, to be able to get a home, that you could transition wealth and build financial stability for yourself and for your children, just wasn't of interest. It was about, let me stay here, where I'm able to, just have a small place and be among my friends. Because that was some of the fear too, in terms of, well, where am I going to move? You're going to move me to a new community and I don't know anyone there. Well, yeah, that's what having a fresh start is about. But it's all these fears that came up as excuses to me. And I let the program go, because I couldn't keep, putting my time into something that I wasn't going to get a return out of. And I was getting no financial return at all. This was just trying to help.
It's very frustrating when you're trying to help our own, and they kind of give you this resistance. You know, it makes you feel some type of way. Like it makes you, you know, because Miss Judy was just saying that, like those people that live in that environment, Medicaid cards and food stamps and an abundance of things that they get that the working class people themselves we don't get. So if the project or basically this program that Jay-Z brought in, it would take them to a whole new level.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you're already getting taken care of anyway. And now you're being introduced to something that's going to basically just catapult you to a whole different level. What's the problem?
Yeah, it's fear. Fear of the unknown. It's fear. And so I don't know
Little,
how we circumvent that.
yeah. Little Rock, go ahead. Little Rock, go ahead.
Hold on. Yeah, what I was saying earlier in my chat sticker, I was saying that you have to approach, because I went through the same thing this young lady went through, trying to get poor-minded people to think outside of their box. And when you have that anchor, which is the government, and sometimes you have generations of, they don't know anything. They don't want to know anything else. And those two that you got, sometimes that's what you have to work with. And sometimes you got to just let people be where they at, because they'll drain you.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying
And
to
what
pull
they
and
didn't
push them towards
realize,
something, you know. And I got tired of doing that. So, you know, you're happy to have 15, 20 people to show up at your, you know, your training or whatever you're offering. And I'm satisfied with 2 or 1, just somebody show up. I could work with that. And that's what we have to accept as Black people now. It's the fact that we're a permanent underclass, and we're a permanent underclass mentally too. And all of us are not going to escape that. We're only going to get a few. So that's why I like dealing with kids before they get grown, because they accept this more. Because dealing with grown-ups and old fools, man, that take a lot out of you. It takes
They
a lot
hard-headed.
out of you.
They real hard-headed.
and
Yes.
you know what
Yeah,
they
they
don't
hard-headed.
realize is that this, you know, the legislation that got the developer the tax breaks to come in and build these so-called low-income properties bridges the developer for about 10 years. And then after that, they have the opportunity to turn these developments into condominiums or full-fledged market rate properties. And so they don't have a lifetime in these the residents on the vouchers don't have a lifetime in these properties anymore. Those developers, given the market conditions, are going to turn them into condos. And I've seen it happen within Los Angeles and within New Orleans. And then the people are scrambling trying to find somewhere else to live. So the you know, the ability to spend 30 years in a housing project is just not the case anymore. That's why the developer comes in and puts in the granite countertops and the laminate floors and the great windows and all of that, because they're putting their money in early, getting the tax breaks from it, and then they're going to turn around and sell these properties. And then people will be out on the streets. But they've had opportunity after opportunity to grasp onto a new skill set or get engaged in a program, because the residents are a protected class. You can't come in and introduce anything without going through the red tape, because they are HUD-owned properties. So millions of people are trying to get in and, you know, kick off their program with the residents because of the longevity. And so they're turning the work down, they're turning the help down, but they don't realize that, you know, they're on a tight schedule. They're going to be homeless. I've seen it happen in New Orleans. I've seen it where no one wants to accept their voucher and they have nowhere to go.
African communities, go ahead. African communities, go ahead. Unmute yourself. African community, go on one.
Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Thank you very much for having me again on your panel. I was just trying to say is, why is it that we just need to talk all about development? We don't want to talk about science, because I understand one thing. What Marcus Garvey said. You know, I'm a Garveyan. Marcus Garvey said for real. As Africa goes, so goes you. Marcus Garvey said, "It is for religion and science that lies our only hope to withstand the evil design of modern materialism. We cannot talk without power. Power is science." I told you based on your other show that science is what controls the world. I'm over here in America studying AI. Why can't we come together and contribute in order to make sure we support those that are trying to do better in terms of science? We don't need to contribute based on DVD or contribute based on a museum or contribute based on someone who's trying to do some kind of documentary and stuff like that. We need to contribute based on science so we can grab that real knowledge these people have. Marcus Garvey said, "Black man, black woman, what is wrong with you? Why can't you copy the knowledge the white man have that make him leader of the world?" I know for a fact, search for who. I know because I'm studying it right now. I can give you internet. I can give you YouTube, radio, TV, and the rest. We need more people who can get into this field and grab this knowledge and get the hell out of here. Marcus Garvey said what? A race of people who depend on another race is bound to go down on defeat. You cannot depend on these people in order for you to thrive. You can't do that. Yeah. Marcus Garvey said, if black people are not careful, they will drink in all the poison of the Western civilization and die of its effect. I'm looking at it right now. If we are not careful, these people will wipe us out. I was born in Western Africa, in Cameroon. I came over here as a slave in the mine. But based on reading, research, and studying, my degree in Africa is useless. I know of Christopher Columbus, but I never heard of people like, I know of people like Abraham Lincoln. I've never heard of Frederick Douglass in my life. I know of people like the Queen of England. I've never heard of people like Queen Mother Harriet Tubman. They gave me history which is not mine. Some of us right now are trying to understand what is happening. As Garvey do it, like you train leaders in this part of the world, send back to the continent so that we can take back that land. These people are draining that resources in that continent like craziness. And remember, if you take that coal thing out of the soil, you cannot replace it. You take that oil out of that soil, you cannot replace it. You take that tin, that copper, that bauxite, that aluminum, that manganese, that gold or diamond or timber, whatever, cocoa, coffee, you can't replace that issue, bro. You can't. We got it excess over there. All you need is for us to come together, raise a mindset of scientists and leadership so that some of us in this part of the world, we can go back and fight and die for what we know is right for us. Yeah. Science is the only way. Like you brought up, search for who. You need to come out with a platform of African scientists so that we can get into it, contribute currency in it, make sure those of us scientists who come in it, develop, copy this knowledge. That's what we can do. Have the internet, YouTube, everything. I don't want to go further. Have it. We can do it in less than 5 years. We can do everything in less than 5 years. Get the hell out of here. Get that continent. Get it in our possession, and protect ourselves. Marcus Garvey said what? Marcus Garvey said, a race of people without power and authority is a race of people without respect. Marcus Garvey said, show me a race of people without authority and power. I will show you one without respect. If we don't have power, we don't have authority, we are just wasting our time. Science is the solution. We should not contribute on DVD or on museum and stuff like that. We need to contribute on science, please.
Let me. ODS Couriers, go ahead.
Yes, I like to say I strongly believe that we need to learn about the blockchain, and I'll speak from a personal experience. When I first seen blockchain, it kind of frightened me because there was a lot of information that I didn't have, any knowledge of. And I knew that we needed to transition into learning it. But with so many, branches of it, it's kind of hard to understand if you haven't had any introductory level of it. So I think that's what causes a lot of people in the Black community to sort of fear it, is because they don't have like an introductory level for them to take hold of and begin to learn it. But I agree with it. If I were to use example of my business. My business, I try to offer opportunity to other people, and other people are in fear of what I present to them, where it could bring them $1,000 plus a week. They fear taking hold of that because they don't know enough about it. They want to be part of it, but they fear it because they don't know enough about it. So I think that's what's going on with the whole blockchain, industry. We don't know enough about it, and we need to erase that fear and just take hold of it and sort of roll with it, because it is the future, like you said.
Yeah, I seen what you were saying about Jay-Z, and he's not just teaching about the currency aspect. He's teaching the technology of how it works and teaching them how they can build their own blockchain. So that's totally different than learning about the currency. They actually are going to build their own. They actually learning how to do this. So one day that, when they get older, and I'm glad he did with kids. Like I said, dealing with older people is a headache. But it's not the fact that because blockchain is not just with the currency. You with the NFTs and contracts, man, smart contracts, dude, that changed the whole game. You cut out so many middlemen with the blockchain contracts, man. That's really is the game changer right there.
So, Dinus, I wanted to share something. I took
Go ahead.
I took a look at the website that they created, that someone put in your back chat. Now, Lamar Wilson and Nigel, I've been following them since they've been on Clubhouse. So it seemed like, from the way the website is designed, that they're doing this in conjunction with Jay-Z and his Sean Carter Foundation. They're at Marcy. So now Nija Roberts, last year, she did she went all across the United States, from major cities in just about every state, talking about blockchain. Her and the actor, I forgot his name, but her and the actor, they went last summer, all across the country. And Lamar Wilson has this black Bitcoin billionaire program and everything. So they seem like they're the two behind designing this program for Marcy, for the classroom. And which I think is great that Jay-Z is even taking their idea, their passion that they have for blockchain, and presenting it to Marcy as part of his foundational work. So you got to big up and give him credit for taking the word and working with these two individuals who are Black folks in the community who have a passion for this. So I think that's another thing we need to look at, and we need to applaud how they got him, contact with him, got to him to even hear them out, but the fact that he sat with them, spoke to them about it, and found that they're doing some great work, and he wanted to be a part of it and take it to Marcy. Maybe Marcy is just a pilot. Maybe if it does well, Marcy, they'll take it to other places, in the city here in New York and throughout the country.
Yeah, hopefully, Miss Judy, they bring it to. Yeah, hopefully, Miss Judy, they bring it to Flatbush. I think if they brought it for Flatbush, it'll be a really great thing.
Yeah, Lamar Wilson and Nigel Roberts, they've been working I caught up with them a year ago, and I think Lamar's been at it longer, but this is his passion, is blockchain. So kudos to them, for getting to Jay-Z and being able to get him involved.
They try.
On some level.
A lot of them, they try. I mean, they can only do so much. Like, what's his name? Nas took Bevel. I remember when Bevel first came out, the razor, the hair cutting razor Bevel, and he bought it. It's Black owned, and he took him to a whole different level. So they try. But with our people, like in the beginning of the show, what Dinus was saying, it's hard to please Black folks. It's real hard. That's a difficult job right there. It's a difficult thing. Snoop started that program over there in Cali, the football program, 4 players have gone on to play in the NFL, and a lot of them came back and done something for their community. So they try. So but with us, everything has to be some criticism. Why didn't they do this? They should have done it this way. Hey, trying to please black folks, that's a full-time job.
Yeah, but big up to these two on the screen, and big up to JC for even listening to these two.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys. Links in the chat room if you want to call in. Please call in. Listen, if you think Bitcoin is a scam, you think blockchain is a scam, hey, you're more than welcome to call in and state why it's a scam. You're more than welcome to have the floor and say why blockchain is a scam. You're more than welcome to.
But you know, Goldman Sachs and old money now, as of last year, they're starting to pour into blockchain.
Hey, but Judy, for some Ms. Jones, for some reason, when you tell how all these major, how these corporations and institutions are getting involved in blockchain and Bitcoin, it's still a scam. So again, if you think it's a scam, you're more than welcome to call in and explain why it's a scam.
Say when 10 years from now, when everybody's contracts, their water bill to their phone bill to their money gonna be tied to blockchain. Everything's gonna be tied to blockchain. If you're doing any kind of transaction.
Yeah, can I say something?
It'll still be a scam for some folks.
Yeah, can I say something? Hello?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I just want to make this very clear, because we have to understand, in order for us to control anything, we need to own it. If you don't own it, you don't control it. If you don't own it, you don't control it. Blockchain is not owned by black people. We need to make sure we own our stuff. First, in order for you to own it, you have to build it or manufacture it.
Okay, bro. Do you understand how blockchain works? Who owns? Okay, who's the CEO of blockchain? African Community League.
But no, exactly. It is the same people that are trying to make the dollar to be like the reserve currency on earth. But there is a certain friction within, because people don't know. I cannot invest in something I don't know. I want to invest in something that I know is owned by black people. I'm a black person. I have to buy black, think black, and invest in black.
Do you understand how blockchain works? There's no owner.
No, hold on, bro. What do you mean there's no owner? The person who created it is the owner. If you whatever you create,
who created the blockchain? Who created it?
Those who came out with that technology. It is a technological aspect. That
who? I'm asking a simple question. Who?
Your question is straightforward. Who is based on the fact that it is anonymous? It is anonymous. Okay. And I can tell you that it's still the same people.
You just proved my point. It's not owned by anybody.
No, it's owned by somebody, bro. In order for it to exist, someone has to create it.
Who owns it?
It's anonymous. The IP is being hidden. They hide it. Nothing can exist without owner. Somebody has to create it.
Let me jump in here for a sec.
Okay. You have to create something that to own it.
Excuse me, my brother. Okay, the white paper that was written originally was signed by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, if that's a real person, but that's who wrote the paper with the technical concept of Bitcoin in about 2008, when the whole bubble was crashing around the financial institution. And that's the thing about blockchain, is when it's implemented correctly, it's called decentralized. That means it's not like one company running it. It's all over the place. It's all over the world. It's many people running nodes, they call them, to support the blockchain network. So even I had a blockchain node at some point, in time, where I had a full copy of the blockchain. And so when everybody has like equal access to see what's on the ledger, because blockchain is a ledger basically, when it just lists transactions in one after the other. That's a basic, definition of blockchain. It's a ledger. But see, the thing about this is decentralized. No one owns blockchain, especially one like Bitcoin, because you have people with nodes all over the world in various countries supporting the network. And in supporting the network, they get paid in what we call Satoshis, little bits of Bitcoin. I'll stop there.
May I speak?
Yeah, it's just, bro. There's a lot of. I don't know if you got your fan running in the background or what. There's a lot of
Oh,
background there.
I'm sorry. Is that okay? I'm sorry. Let me handle that.
Okay, and then just put yourself back on me. Let me bring out Rich. Yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, dog. Whoop. How you doing, my
Hello,
brother?
bro. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good, Dinus. Hey, just I wanted to say thank you very much for allowing me to be on your platform. Salute I'm from California, but I'm over here in Bangkok right now. So I just wanted to say, my brother, everything that you're speaking on, everything that you're doing is prophetic. You're doing your work for your people, and we really appreciate everything you do. So my name is OKK, so that should tell you where I'm from. But yeah, I'm from Cali. But I wanted to say salute to everyone else on the panel, respect to everybody that's listening, and to all the elders that brought us forward and our ancestors. We here now.
Bro, that's all. That's all you wanted to say.
I mean, I'll add one more. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, that's something that is created not by our own hands. It's in the hands of another people, and you can't trust it. So, I mean, it's
All
still
right,
going to be around.
so brother, my question is, who created it? That just answer the question. Who created it?
ABC.
Who?
The ABC. The three-letter words.
Who?
I don't know, but let's just put it that way. ABCs.
Okay, well, bro, we don't know who created it, bro. We have no clue, and it's decentralized technology. Anybody can create, and that's the thing. Anybody can create their own blockchain. So, again, just for people who say, so and so created it, just provide, provide proof on who created it. That's all. And again, somebody said, "Down, did it create itself?" I'm not saying it created itself, but we don't know who created it. That's it. That's all. But you can create your own blockchain. It's just technology. I'll go ahead.
Black people also have a coin, it's called the abundance coin, if people don't know. It's a coin created.
Brother, I don't want to shill coins right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't
I
want to shill
apologize.
coins because I don't know much about it. Never heard of it, and I don't know anything about it. I mean, right now the only coin that's considered an asset and is a storage of wealth is Bitcoin. But as far as shilling other coins, we're not gonna talk about
I'm
other
sorry. The
coins.
only reason why I
That'd just
brought
be a
it up
liability.
because it was made by Black people.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But it could be a lie. We're not shilling coins. Guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in. Links in the chat room. ODS Couriers, go ahead.
Yes. So, thank you. I wanted to ask. So, if we're starting out, what will be a good starting point in learning this information about blockchain?
I mean, there's plenty of I could put some resources in the chat, but there's resources online. I mean, there's pretty resource. YouTube. What is blockchain? There you go. Google. What is
Hmm.
blockchain?
Right, right. Well,
The,
you
Lamar Wilson has a great program. The gentleman pictured up top, he has a great program. Black billionaire. What's his website? I think it's blackbitcoinbillionaires.com. Yeah, he has information on his
okay?
website. Hmm.
Okay, okay. Thank you all.
I mean, I think in the end, if you have hello,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I think in the end, if you have two people like Lamar and Nigel, bringing information, trying to bring information to the community, and you have someone like Jay Z who's partnering with them, who has money, who has resources to help them expand out their program and create and design a program maybe that they couldn't do totally on their own, adding free Wi-Fi to it, adding tablets, adding the instrument, to it. I mean, I don't
Let me get Free Game Podcast on here. Let's see here.
deeper. I don't see how
Free Game
folks could
Podcast.
really criticize this.
Right,
You know,
exactly. Free Game Podcast. Go ahead.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
When we gonna give up on Jay-Z?
Go. Go ahead.
When black folks gonna give up on Jay-Z about all the questionable stuff he's done?
Well, yeah, but what does that have to do with actually teaching, offering a service or a skill to a community?
They don't have the time, bro.
What do you mean they don't have the time?
They don't have the time to right now in the hood. Why not build a facility
Facility for what? Facility for what?
for these children to go to?
They got plenty of, like Judy was saying, they got plenty. Go, Judy, you go ahead and address
the
that.
city of New York already has built plenty of facilities.
Oh, okay, I know that.
There's schools you can open up after school.
Okay,
They have an after school program, all in these communities.
okay, I ain't
So
know
why
that.
so why does he need to reinvent the wheel?
Who has more programs than New York City? Like New York City has more programs as a city than Africa has as an entire continent. Who
Yeah,
has
I'm
more
paying enough.
programs than New York City? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
paying enough taxes for a lot of these
Yeah.
programs.
Exactly. My taxes speak to it. Yeah. My taxes speak to it.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know that, Donis.
Yeah, we pay for food stamps, we pay for methadone, we pay for a lot of things. We pay for public housing. People
Yeah.
are taken care of in this city.
They
Yeah,
more
but
than taken care of. We're paying for methadone. Like we're paying for crackheads. Just think about that.
yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, just because New York have a lot of the programs don't mean that people are using them. You know what I mean? And um, New York, yeah, it have a lot of programs,
Oh,
but
believe me, they're using them like a revolving door.
yeah,
They are
housing,
using them. They are
housing.
using them.
But what I'm saying is,
They
uh,
could tell you. They could tell you about them, the ins and outs, and everything better than you.
Yeah,
More
free
than
free
you will
game.
ever know.
Yeah, free game. There's such a unique sense of using these programs. Like it's like a scheme at this point. It's like a writing a code to basically gain an advantage over the working class. That's how much they're using these programs. Like they're really they're abusing this shit at this point. They got so many programs in New York. It makes me want to be like, I want to be homeless at this point. I feel like being homeless is much more better than actually being a working class person. Trust me,
Yeah,
they got more than it. They
yeah.
got more than they need.
I always said this: New York is not a place black people need to live. That is not a place black people need to be.
And I think to answer to your question about Jay-Z, I think when more of us maybe pick up and do what little people like him are doing, then we don't need a Jay-Z.
Yeah,
We won't need the whole lot of them. We won't
yeah.
need them. Yeah,
I
to answer your question, when we
uh,
gonna give up
I
on Jay-Z?
I
When
agree. I
more of
agree
us
to it.
do the little bit that he's doing, then we don't need the Jay-Z's of the world. We don't need the Nas's of the world. We don't need the Alicia Keys of the world. A lot of them who have foundations, who are trying to do stuff. But yeah, we don't need them. When more of
yeah,
us, I guess, do a little bit more.
yeah, yeah. Um, who really need a crypto market, and I know this a divide, go away from the conversation, but those Nigerians, man, they're a different level with the tech, man. I don't think a single people on the planet is better than them when it comes to technology. And this have stretched back years and years and years of them having like advanced knowledge on particular subject in sciences and stuff like that. Those Nigerians, they are just, I don't know what's in the water over there, but man, when it comes to tech,
Brother,
I
let me
don't know
trust
what's
me, brother. Trust me when I tell you, ain't nothing in the water back home, bro. It's not like that. The truth about it is that you know the tech thing with us back home in Nigeria is that if you really ain't we look at it as a situation where you pretty much don't have no choice. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn this situation. You're going to have to basically learn this format of that sort of tech, or you probably just not going to survive. Like, you go back home, you see the way that people are in Africa, the way that they know Bitcoin from top to bottom, Ethereum, any coin you mention, you can find somebody at the village literally trading off right now. So yeah, like
Well, yeah, and
yeah, it's a real thing.
when you have
Yeah,
people who could take apart a cell phone and put it back
and put
together
it back together. Yeah,
because
man,
they
but
have time. They don't have the distractions that we're dealing with. They have a lot
it's
of time to sit down and do things.
it is a gift from man. And like, I know you say it's nothing in the water, man, but you gotta look at it like from all the Chinese, from all the Americans, from all the Indian, from all the um a lot of Africans, a lot of different ethnic groups of Africans. Man, the Nigerians, man, it's you have to, because the lead man over Apple is a Nigerian.
But
yeah,
the thing
yeah,
is,
that's true.
It's a gift, man. It's crazy how, because they did a study on the Nigerians. They say the Nigerians have the best memory out of any group of people on the planet.
Yeah, we do have the highest SAT scores coming out of well, I think period. I actually found out this a couple of years ago. I didn't even know that, but yeah, but I don't think it's really a gift, bro. I think anybody can learn it. I really do. I don't think there's something overly special that African Americans themselves couldn't be able to just dominate it. Ain't nothing real, because I've met a lot of Caribbean people themselves. They were very into tech, like that. Especially them Jamaicans and Trinidadians. They not playing around either. They're not playing
Mm.
around with this stuff. But what you're gonna have to worry about. That's what I'm saying. Like, this thing take advantage of the opportunity of it. Like, this thing that Hove was trying to do. It could have been something really great. And you got people over there in Marcy Projects talking about why he don't fix the basketball hoops. How's that gonna help you? How's fixing the basketball hoops gonna help you?
Americans, me growing up playing college football, man, look, Americans just want to play sports and entertain people. And that's the problem. We think running a football or dribbling a basketball is the only way out, but it's really not. You know, uh, even in sports, the Nigeria in about 10 years, the NBA is going to be full of Nigerians. You know what I mean? They're catching up in basketball too. So,
Oh yeah, they
yeah,
right there. They right there around the corner with that too. You're right about
man, I've seen them play
that.
basketball. I was like, God
Oh, they
damn
can
it, they
ball.
close, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, we could, because a lot of people don't know free game. We can ball back home. Like that's not really a strange thing. Like a lot of people are like, we can't. I mean, we can't do the crossover like the African American does the crossover. But trust me, I tell you, it's some brothers back home that can really ball. Like even Ghanaians get it in. Like I don't know if you start to notice, but there's a lot of Ghanaians creeping up into the NFL.
Hey,
I think the issue is support. Like Black Americans have too much support. Need to take away some of the support and create that hunger again. The hunger is not there. People are not hungry anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing, Miss Judy, these people coming in here, if they coming in from China, what we really got to look out for is the Indians. Them Indians, they moving real fast and they not playing games. When I was in college, I had a roommate. I swear he didn't sleep. I swear this man did not sleep. Like I was just looking at, I was looking at him like, harsh. Did you sleep? No, no, brother, no time for sleep. I have to study. I'm like, oh, really? You gonna have to sleep
Hmm.
sometime. Yeah, they don't sleep.
Hmm.
Them Chinese is not
Hmm.
sleeping. I've literally met Korean people that told me they slept for 4 hours a day.
Hmm.
They would tell you dead to the sleep.
Hmm.
I only sleep for 4 hours a day. That's it. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. It's like, I know
Yeah,
we,
the
yeah,
hunger for something
them
is
Indians.
there.
Let me
They're
tell you,
hungry.
Miss Judy, some of these Indians I met when I was at Notre Dame, I would see them only in two places. I would see them well, three places. I would see them at the dorm. I would see them during class, and then I would see them at the library. I never saw them anywhere else. I never saw them anywhere else.
Hmm.
No, they weren't when Notre Dame, when we playing our football games, everybody's out there. They was inside their dorms or the library studying.
Hmm.
There was no fighting Irish. No, 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 no. Ain't no fighting Irish here.
Hmm.
They don't give a damn about no fighting Irish. They fighting
Yeah,
Indians.
and I traveled through India for 5 years from 2015 to 2020 up until the pandemic. I've been all throughout India, north, south, east, west. And when you go to their temples and you see, just by going to the temples alone made me realize why these people are so damn advanced, like ahead in America. When you just go to the temples and see these structures that they built, that their forefathers built, and that they're still standing 3, 4, 5,000 years later. I mean, you think the pyramids are something, but go see an Indian temple. It blew my mind. I'm like, no wonder these people are who they are. Like, really? So yeah, yeah. I mean, and if they're Hindu, I don't know so much if they're Christians or Muslims, but I'm talking about the Hindus. They got a
Miss Judy,
mantra for just about everything. They understand the mind and how the mind works, and they're taught from when they're little kids the
Sister
power
Judy,
of the mind. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I
Go
completely
ahead.
agree. And I really feel that, certain other people, other groups, other cultures, other ethnicity groups, they have a real connection to their culture. They're very communal. They work together. They spend money together before they jump out and spend it at, Neiman Marcus or Macy's. And when you're keeping most of your funds within your people, then you have the ability to do more. And many of us as African Americans, we don't understand how the game really works. And it's only like, from my experience, my personal experience, people who have been able to travel, go to see other lands, how other people do it. You know, for example, in Asia, most people in their hometowns, they have a store at their house and they sell products from their home. You know, yeah, they have a very nice home or something going on, but they're selling some kind of products. Maybe they, you know, have water bottles of gasoline and that's their business, but they're doing something to generate money all the time. And these are the things that we've kind of lost, or maybe we've forgotten about. We think that it's just about, you know, the job, but it's also about business, and you should do both.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think too, yeah, they have their culture, but one thing I notice about their culture that they understand the mind and how the mind and the ego, they understand very, very well. And they're taught from a young age. So you won't
very young.
see,
Yeah,
yeah.
very young,
So
Mrs.
you
Judy.
don't,
Like I've been around them
yeah,
for a long time. Like even here
yeah,
in Jersey, they have a town, Edison, New Jersey. They make it seem like they don't run Edison, but they do. They do. You see a lot of them are in the police force. A lot of them have they have a town within the town because Edison is just a city by itself. But within Edison, they have an Indian town. Like you stretch down maybe 6 or 7 blocks, they have their own Indian mall. They even have their own bank over there. So they're not playing games. They're not playing games. They're not. They won't even stop to talk to you. If you ever notice, try to share a conversation with an Indian person. They'll probably talk to you for like 30 seconds. That's it. You know. They and if you're not talking about something that really interests them, they won't even entertain you. You
yeah.
know.
And they understand how the mind works. So you don't see their mind runs them crazy, like running them in circles, like how our mind runs us in circles, because we don't have the control and power and understanding of the mind and
Yeah.
what the mind is. So the
Yeah.
mind runs us as a community. We don't run the mind,
Growing
and we
up,
don't
I'll tell you,
understand mind, and we
my
don't
yeah.
understand mind and ego, and that's
Growing
the
up,
problem.
growing up in an African household, Miss Judy, I thought we were strict. You know, I thought my
Okay,
parents were
yeah,
strict. But then I started being around them and I was like, well, I remember it was like
yeah.
this level of like disgust. Like he was kind of looking at me like I was wasting his time, or, you know, it was like my my roommate when we were in college. You know, I'm looking at Harsh and I'm like, you know, yeah, Harsh, you know, take a break. Let's watch some TV or something like that. You know, it's the NBA playoffs. You know, shit, Kobe about to drop 30 tonight, and he's just sitting in the corner, just looking at me, just shaking his head, and it's just this look that he would give me, like, you know, like I was wasting time. You know, you wasting time, or you're just like he felt offended by me even asking
Hmm.
him to walk away from his studies just for a quick second. And I'm like, yo, bro, just
Hmm.
take a break. Let's, you know, let's grab some chips and kick our feet up. You know, the Lakers are playing. You're looking at me like, boy, you don't even know what's going on. I have big
Yeah, we don't
dreams.
we don't have that sense of urgency.
No,
Like
no, we
it's the
don't.
sense of urgency that they have
Yeah.
that's embedded in them. You
Success for
know
them is
that
an emergency. They see
they
success
will
as an
die.
emergency. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they will die an honorable death. Like you, they rather be dead than let their parents or their community down, or
True.
especially their parents.
Very
They
true.
would rather slit their throat
Yeah.
for that to happen. We don't carry that same level like that.
But hey, I'm about to. We're gonna go ahead and close out.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Until
Thank you,
next time,
Dinah.
family. No problem. Anytime. Until next time,
Thank you,
family. Guys,
Dennis. Thank you.
anytime. All right. Bye bye. Peace.
Peace.